Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. You're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and in this video, I'm going to check out some pedal boards. I've got the Expand series pedal boards here from Daddario. This is the Expand 1, and down here is the Expand 2. These are expandable pedal board concepts. This one goes from 17 inches all the way out to 31, and this one goes from 14 to 24. This one is a single row style pedal board, and this one is a double row. I'm really excited about this. I've been wanting to swap my pedal board out, my gigging pedal board out for something smaller for a while now. It's just pretty big and heavy, and I fill it up, but I fill it up with a lot of redundancies and stuff like that. It would be nice. I'm really hoping that these will be great and that I'll like them, because it would be nice to have something where I can get a little bit more compact, a little bit lighter, but then also have some room to expand it, which is what it's supposed to do, to throw things on there that I'm testing, that I'm getting in for demo, that I want to try when I'm playing live and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that these will be good solutions for that. All right, let's get into it. I've actually had these boxes in for a while, but I've been waiting to film them closer to when the, preferred release date was for these. It says on the box that there is some assembly required. It does look like a very IKEA sort of situation right now, but it looks pretty simple. I'm assuming these are the end bolts to hold it all together. Interesting packaging there. I like what they did here. They used a strip of Velcro to wrap the whole thing together, and then you can use that Velcro on the board itself. Oh, nice. The slats come with the Velcro already on them on both sides, so that, you can Velcro your power supply underneath, is my assumption. Wow, that it expands really far. That actually expands wider than my current pedal board. So this pedal board could be bigger, in theory, or smaller than my current pedal board. Well, there it is. I wasn't racing the clock or anything, but I'd say that took me about 15 minutes to put together. If I had pulled out a drill with an Allen key drill bit, I probably could have done it in about 5 or 10 minutes. I spent a lot of time using the Allen key to tighten all those screws. It's pretty beefy feeling, pretty stiff to expand to, but look at that. It gets big. That is for sure bigger than my current pedal board. This is the pedal board I've been using forever, my salvage board here. And yeah, it is a bit wider. Is it fully extended? Yeah, that is quite a bit wider. Almost 32 inches wide. My current pedal board is 25 inches wide. So let's just say that it's got 7 inches on it. Wild. You're definitely not going to accidentally extend this thing. It's fairly stiff. You'd have to really, really tug it to get it to extend. And it has these locks on here. I'm going to collapse it and lock it down. I want to set up the other one, the smaller one. Now that I know what I'm doing, this one's gonna go quick, right? I mean, also it's smaller. So it should go quicker no matter what. One thing's for sure, I'm getting a lot of Velcro out of this situation, which is good. I actually have been running out of Velcro recently. And I've been using little scraps to attach my pedals to my pedal boards. I do really like and really appreciate that these come preloaded with the soft Velcro already on them. Like, it has a unique kind of little channel design here. And I'd hate to have to, like, by hand line up the Velcro on there by myself. Like, that feels like it would be a pain in the butt. So good thinking, Daddario. Pre-applying the Velcro. It's a nice touch. It's a little touch, but it is a nice touch. So I actually have two pedal boards that I use extremely consistently. My gigging board, which I use weekly at church and on the rare occasion that I have some other gig. And then my kind of utility board that I use for doing demos. It has my amp switcher, it has my looper on there, it has a tuner on there, and then a very simple assortment of drive and time-based pedals. You know, drive, fuzz, distortion, tremolo, reverb, and delay. So I'm kind of hoping that this little board can replace what I've been using for that utility board. And I'll have a matching set. Well, there we go. The little one went together a lot quicker. It seems to slide a bit easier than the big one, probably because there's just less bar sliding and less friction, but still really, really firm. And then you lock it into place. Let's see how strong those locks are. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's not going to accidentally slide open on you. So let's start out seeing if I can fit my utility board on here, and then we'll see how well my other board does being transferred over to the bigger one. So this is my utility board. You can see tuner, amp switcher, looper, delay, reverb, a volume pedal, fuzz, overdrive, and distortion. We'll see how much of it I can get to fit. Now this is a little bit of a hiccup. If you have to put something across this seam here, it is at a different level. And in theory, not really ideal. I'll have to work around that somehow. Visually, I'm feeling a little bit nervous about this all fitting right now, so I might actually need to pick some different pedals to make this work. Move further towards more miniature pedals like this to make this happen. Yeah, this is not all gonna fit. I didn't really measure it out and, consider it before filming this. So that's on me. Let's break it down to essentials for my utility rig here. I need a tuner, I need a looper, I need the amp switcher. The tuner can be my mute, so I don't really need the volume pedal. So the only things getting the boot right now are the volume pedal and the delay, and I'm fine with that. I can work with that. I can always swap stuff out in the future, which I do all the time anyways. I've got this cheap power brick here. Because this already has Velcro underneath, let's see how it lines up. The legs are not tall enough for that power supply, so you are going to need a thinner style power supply for this particular board. I have a feeling that's going to fit just fine underneath this board that has the taller legs in the back. Yeah, that'll work out just fine. But this board needs a smaller power supply. Having to do a little bit of surgery on the rest of my rig here. This is a power supply I usually use on my desk, and it looks like half an inch thinner than this older power supply here. This is the K-Line Power CP207. Let's see if that'll fit. Yeah, that'll fit perfect. So, two things I found with this board so far that you need to keep in mind. If something is spaced over this gap, it might be a little bit tricky. This pedal right here seems to fit over it, and the Velcro engages on both sides, and you're gonna need to find a power supply that is thinner if you want to mount it underneath the board like that. These little cable management clips here are smart. They're open on both sides, and you just push them in, and it'll hold your cables in place. That's smart design. So far, I'm really impressed with this system. There's a lot of smart design going on like that. It looks like I goofed up. I think you need to install this side before putting the whole thing together, before screwing it together. So I'll install those later for that cable management there. But it's still set up pretty clean out of the gate here. Also, I'm a big fan of using little loops of Velcro to hold cables in place on things, so I might do that as well. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed so far. Now, there's certain things I can do to get a delay back on the board here. I'm really loyal to that tuner. I could technically go for a smaller tuner, or I could move this tuner to be on the desk, which would be functional. I like having it on the floor. Like I really love this tuner, the Peterson, for checking intonation and really fine tuning and stuff like that. Like I've got Polytune minis and stuff like that that get the job done, but the accuracy of this, I love having it on my utility board. I could get a much smaller looper. I don't really use the drum side of this often for demo recording, so I don't need something quite so wide, but I do rely on it being a stereo looper. So maybe there's a looper out there that is a stereo looper that has a smaller footprint. I can also swap a few of these pedals out, and maybe that'll give me space. Like I could swap the Music Lily for the Kuvabi, I could swap the Woodcutter for the Rat's Bane, and then I've got the Constellator delay here, which is more of like an analog style delay, but it would work. It would work. Maybe I should try that right now. Maybe this will be the moment where the Music Lily gets off my utility board and finds its home on the Affordaboard. I really, really like this fuzz. I think it's a fantastic fuzz. I love the Kuvabi as well. But I think the Music Lily is a bit better for a utility board because it covers a more normal range of sounds, subjectively speaking. But then I think the Kuvabi is better for the Affordaboard because it is one of the rare instances of something having a really unique personality on the Affordaboard. And I love that about it. Well, there it is. The only thing I lost in concept is the volume pedal. And I don't need it because I can mute from the tuner, like I've said. That should be a good utility board. I mean, things are a little bit, floaty off the edges and stuff like that. But this board is never going to leave the garage. This is for, sitting on the floor and doing various little tasks for me. I'm never going to take it out of the house, but that should work just fine. Now on to this one. How much card space do I have left? An hour and a half. I feel like I should install these cable manager guys before I get too far on this one. Which is a bit of a pain having to undo all these screws. Can I just force them in there? Aha! I can force them in there. Brilliant. Onto my gigging board, which I technically want to downsize a bit. So I don't know if I'll even need to expand this. If I do need to expand it, I will, because I can. But I'm not hoping to move everything over to this board. And I'm kind of hoping that I can get it all to fit as it is right now. So let's start moving over like what I consider essentials. I'm going to accept it as it is right now. I think if I wanted to get creative and crafty, I could squeeze my wah pedal in here or another drive, or I could move things around and squeeze in a second delay or a second reverb, which, you know, I do stack delays and reverbs. But I'm kind of trying to challenge myself to pull everything back from my gigging board and be more simplistic. What didn't make the cut? The wah, which I still could have put on there. I consider that, you know, kind of a modulation. I could have put it right back where it was next to the volume pedal instead of putting the aqueduct on there, but I haven't been using it a lot, so I wanted to try something different. I usually have an open spot on here for some dirt pedal that I'm experimenting with. This case, it was the Dragonaut, so that didn't make it on there. But if I want to experiment with something, I can just expand the pedal board, right? The second reverb, the hall reverb that I have on here didn't make the cut, but I've got two delays on here. If I'm in a double reverb mood, I can swap out one of those delays. I'm almost never in a double reverb and double delay mood. You know, I go back and forth, and I'm always swapping stuff on my gigging board. And then the 10-band EQ, which honestly, I only had on there to fill up space, so I'm not gonna miss it. I'm not gonna wire this all up with power because this video is already long enough, but I'm impressed. I really am. It's really, really beefy. It's very sturdy. It's a little bit heavy, but once you get pedals on there, like everything is gonna be heavy, right? The pedals are heavier than the pedal board when it all comes down to it. And even though I've pared everything back and really pulled back, I'm really only losing 4 things, which were redundant anyways, and I still have a little bit of redundancy on here. I have 3 overdrives. For goodness sake, guys. I could have a distortion on here instead, or I could really just like kill one of the overdrives and make some space that way. Of course, if I want more stuff, am I going to be able to open it? Oh, it was locked. No wonder. Yeah, if I want more stuff on here, I can just expand it and plug it in to the way I already run things. I've got tuner, volume, distortion, and then it goes up into time-based effects and modulations. I can easily patch stuff in over here. If, say, I need to experiment with like a big delay box like that, or like a big fancy overdrive preamp thing, I can just throw it on my gigging board. No problem. And I already have a big beefy power supply under this with plenty of extra spots on it. It's really smart. And I love all the little like cable management clips and stuff like that that work with it. I love the fact that it came with the soft Velcro already on there to prevent the weirdos of the world from putting their loop Velcro down here where the soft stuff is supposed to be. Is it the hook? The hook. Don't put the hook on the pedal board. The hook belongs on the bottom of the pedals. The soft stuff goes on the top, guys. Yeah, it's really smart. I think the only negatives I found are that if you have a pedal that needs to overlap that edge, it's going to be a little bit wonky. I bet there's some way to make an easy riser like a double-sided Velcro sort of thing with a piece of thin material in between to give you a little bit of riser for if you are having that issue. It's a little bit wonky to be on that though. So that is a negative. That's just going to come with the territory of an expanding pedal board like this. But if you're doing like me, where you have your main pedal board kind of locked into one side and you expand this out to throw on extra stuff, I think you're already going to be locked into that edge there. With a smaller one, there's a little bit of a negative that it doesn't have as much space underneath it for a power supply, but there's plenty of power supplies on the market now that will definitely fit underneath there. I had one sitting on my desk that worked just fine. So if you get one of those, you're going to need to be picky about your power supply, about its dimensions and whatnot. I'm going to need to get the carrying case for it. Like technically, I can just go like this. I'm really not gigging in any sort of intense way right now, but it is always nice to have a bag where something can stay safe and not get bumped around and not be sitting out on the, the passenger side seat of my car or whatever for everyone to see. So yeah, I'm gonna end up buying the bag for this. I don't need the bag for my utility board, but for this, I will need it. Good job. Good job, Daddario. I really like it. I really like the concept. And I think the execution is done really, really well. Like I've filmed and experienced expanding pedal boards before, and they weren't, I don't want to trash talk anyone, but they weren't as smart as this. And they weren't as fully flushed out as this. So yeah, I'm into it. What do you guys think? Is this the sort of concept that you're into? Are you shopping for a pedal board and you think an expanding concept like this, gotta unlock it, would work well for you? Because I'm excited about it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude, nasty comments. Huge thanks to Daddario for sending this out to me. And you know what? Stay grounded. Bye, everybody.